Guys, in this video, I'm going to talk about the advantages and the disadvantages about working remotely. Now, as you might know, I've been working remotely for the past almost 4 years, and I've been loving it. Personally, I find myself much more productive than being in the office all the days of the week. So basically, I want to talk about the advantages and the disadvantages, not only from your point of view, but also from the employer point of view, because you might not know that it's actually very advantageous for the employers to hire you remotely, being on a long-term basis or just for a fixed project. So I just want to cover some of these topics and ideas which might be interesting for you. So the very first thing about working remotely is the fact that you save time and money, I'd say, and you can also get more stuff done in a shorter amount of time, since you don't have many distractions like when you're in the office. There might be things going on that can distract you. You can be more easily be taken in meetings which are not useful for you, or not just productive in general. And I'd also say that working remotely, one of the biggest advantages is that you don't really have to spend a lot of time commuting. You don't have to just spend time in things which aren't meant for your productivity in the organization. So that's definitely something which I really enjoy, because I'm a very practical guy. I like to get stuff done, and I don't want to be involved in things which aren't which I know aren't productive. So that's definitely a big plus. Another great thing about working remotely is that you get to work from your own workspace, which you have created, and is tailored for you and your specific needs. Now, in my case, I created an office space which I really love. You cannot see it, but I actually have two windows which are facing towards my garden. I see like some big trees and some vegetation. It's a really calming environment. Plus, I have all of my hardware. I work on two 27-inch monitors and a very fast computer. I have like top-notch hardware, but apart from that, like the point is that you can create your own workspace, and you don't have to ask your boss about something, or when you're switching jobs, you don't have to worry about if the next workplace is going to be cool, or if there's going to be some things which aren't really ideal for you. So this is definitely something which is great. You can control your environment, you can control your time better, and be more productive overall. And let's say that actually, when I did the switch to working remotely, I found myself more productive than I would in the office. I could get more stuff done in less time, at least like double, just because in the office there were like so many distractions, and then you get coffee, and you start chatting with another employee, and all that stuff. It's kind of out of the way when you're working remotely. And also, one big plus for us designers is that I remember, like, when I was working in London, specifically, there was this one client where I used to work in the office, and they would come behind my shoulder and look at my design, and maybe like start pointing at the design, and saying things like, "Oh, you should change this, you should change that," and stuff like that. And like for him, it seemed like a big benefit of being able to do this while I was as I was in the office. But it was really distracting, because I was interrupted from my flow state, and I actually had to take notes as he was speaking behind me about all these things. And It was just a very it was just something which wasn't really productive. Like it seemed productive, but it wasn't productive as much as it is as I'm doing now, which is registering all of the comments maybe on Slack, or maybe having a shared screen call with a client where they can perfectly see my screen. I'm also using collaborative cloud solutions, design softwares like Figma, which enables us to do these things very, very easily. And basically everything is more organized. I have all of the notes down, and I'm able to keep track of comments, revisions, and all those updates much more easily. So I'd say that's been a big plus, because working remotely forces you to be much more organized, and or actually not even much more organized, just you just have to adapt to certain things which make you more productive in the end, and helps make the project go on faster and in a more efficient and smooth way. So I'd say when it comes to the advantages, there's like so many more, but in this video I also want to talk about the disadvantages, because there are some, and some people don't mention them. I'd say the first one is if you're not careful, you can isolate yourself. Working remotely, you don't really have people around you unless you actively create an environment where you have people around you. So if you don't force yourself, for example, to go out and maybe meet people for lunch or stuff like that, or for a coffee or whatever, you can get isolated pretty quickly. So one of the remedies to this is also to travel. I recently did a video on traveling and working remotely, and there's a few variables also there to consider, and I invite you to actually go and check out that video, because I give you some of my insights into what traveling and working remotely actually looks like, or at least what my experience was when I did that, because I did it quite a few times, especially earlier this year. I went 1 month in Thailand and I worked from there. And I'll leave it to the other video if you're interested in watching that. But basically, when it comes to disadvantages, I'd say isolation is the first one. Second one is it might increase distractions if you are in an environment where maybe you have a lot of family members around, you have children, and people that could potentially distract you. It's not really that much the case for me. I have like a isolated area, but if you don't, you should definitely take in account this before you make the switch from going in the office to working remotely, because those are dynamics which can occur, and you actually have to take care of them by either creating a isolated area for yourself where you can focus on your work, or you can also get an office, maybe a small office, maybe in a WeWork or a co-working space, but that's really up to you. So yeah, this is pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, do all of that stuff, like, subscribe, and whatnot, and I'll see you in the next video.